Welcome to my presentation on removing market barriers for energy-efficient building renovation. Buildings are responsible for 40% of energy consumption and 36% of carbon dioxide emissions in the European Union. New buildings are designed in an energy-efficient way. On the contrary, the existing building stock fails in terms of energy consumption levels. New buildings generally need less than 3 to 5 liters of heating oil per square meter per year, while older buildings consume about 25 liters on average. 35% of the existing buildings in European Union are over 50 years old. Energy is the main input for the development process in all countries. Comprehensive studies are being made for the production and consumption processes. The deficiency of energy causes critical social, economic, and political results. Energy-efficient building renovation might result in reducing both the total European Union energy consumption by 5 to 6% and carbon dioxide emissions by 5%. The use of fossil fuels should be decreased while renewable energy usage should become widespread. Many countries around the world are confronted with the challenge of decreasing energy consumption, while the use of electrical appliances is continuously increasing in buildings. The energy for these appliances is mainly supplied from the fossil fuels. The requirement to minimize the energy consumption can be fulfilled by reevaluating architectural aspects. The transition to a low-carbon market are affected by cost, technical potential for capacity, availability of good sites, and the need for energy storage or load matching. European Parliament and Council have developed directives on energy efficiency of buildings, which are Energy Efficiency Directive and Energy Performance of Buildings Directive. Under Energy Efficiency Directive, energy-efficient renovations should be made to at least 3% of buildings owned and occupied by the government. The governments can only purchase highly energy-efficient buildings. Long-term national building renovation strategies should be developed for the country's national energy efficiency action plans. Under Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, energy performance certificates should be included to the advertisements of buildings. Inspection schemes for heating and air conditioning systems must be established. New buildings should be nearly zero energy buildings by 31st of December 2020. For the public buildings, the deadline is 31st of December 2018. Minimum energy performance requirements should be set for both new buildings and renovation of existing buildings. National financial measures should be drawn to improve energy efficiency in buildings. European Union 2020 has a goal of increasing the deep renovation rate of existing buildings to 3% until 2020. To achieve this, main obstacles should be designated and overcome. A method should be developed to tackle the market barriers in the building stock. A team of professionals, academicians, public bodies, and and assessors of energy certification should be created to work together for this target. The barriers should be defined and possible solutions should be developed. Unfortunately, the provisions in these directives are restrained by non-technological barriers. There are two major sectors. The first one is new buildings, and the second one is retrofitting old buildings. As for new buildings, the relationship between the local governments and the developers forms the market. The prices of land and the access of developers are controlled by local governments. There are other actors like architects, design institutes, and contractors that fall behind. The lack of knowledge in know-how results in efficiency losses. Energy-efficient building design technologies need high-end developers and producers of high-tech material and appliances. Training measures or quality management units are to be established for improving the skills of professionals and product quality. As for old buildings, the value chain is not as linear as in new buildings due to the lack of established and universally applied procedures for retrofitting. Firstly, an actor to initiate the process is needed. Local governments are the driving force behind retrofitting. Secondly, residents can only renovate the portions that belong to them individually. Roof and exterior wall insulation and the renovation of the heating system should be organized collectively. Thirdly, retrofitting is both time-consuming and discomforting for the residents. Fourthly, retrofitting of old buildings is more expensive than designing a new building in an energy-efficient way. Some residents are also unable to pay for the cost of retrofitting. Energy-efficient building renovation might become widespread if quality standards and common codes, which are the key instruments in overcoming the market barriers, are developed. Funding schemes should be established and supported by tax reductions. Public awareness is crucial and the prerequisite for energy efficiency investments in building sector. Governmental officials, activists, press, non-governmental organizations play a key role in public awareness. Information should be shared through forums, workshops, or seminars. Stakeholders should participate in the preparation process of energy policy. The residents might have problems in paying the renovation costs. The economic incentives in energy-efficient retrofit of buildings should be encouraged. The energy prices should be adapted to the world market prices. The students and the architects should be trained for energy-efficient building design principles, as it is significant to incorporate the passive design issues in the early design stages. Incentives should be supplied via legislation and regulations. The cooperation between construction industry, building owners, public authorities, and financiers should be implemented. The loan officers should be trained to gain the experience to evaluate the loans for renewable energy projects. The collaboration between construction companies should also be provided. Thank you for listening.